What's up, y'all? It's Lamar Woods coming back for another video, and in this one we are going to learn from billionaire entrepreneur Glenn Stearns as he goes through his journey of starting $1 million business in 90 days. This man is going to go from no money, no connections, no dollar to $1 million business. So with no further ado, let's roll.
Life that I'm going after, a life that I'm going to have.
For the premiere of this series, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with 3 of the first things I picked up from Glenn as he was doing his thing. And these first 3 things are: 1, survival is first; 2, focus on your strengths; and 3, find the buyer first. All right, so let's get into it. The first point we're going to hit is survival is first. And when he was saying this quote, he was thinking about exactly how he was going to create the business, but realized also he's a man in a truck with $100 in his pocket, and he's got to eat, he's got to find a place to live, he's got to shower. And so he said, I'm going to focus on survival first. And so I'm sitting here watching this and I'm like, oh my God, this guy knows what he's talking about. So what he did was he basically said, okay, I will do anything to make some money because I need to survive. I need to get through this 90 days and I need a place to live, a place to shower, and food to eat so that I can survive this 90 days. So the first thing he does is trying to make money in any way he can. He's searching through trash cans for, stuff that he can sell in there. He's searching through junkyards for tires that he can sell. He's doing all kinds of things. He even applied to different jobs. So this is eye-opening to me. I felt like a billionaire would not even waste his time with a 9-to-5, but it's actually a part of his steps. He said, I need to be able to eat tomorrow, today, and into perpetuity, or at least 90 days. And so what he did was he just started doing everything he could to try and make some money, to try and make a quick buck. And then he went further. Glenn eventually found a way to make a little bit of cash, just doing little things here and there, started at little jobs. And once he made enough money to spend it, as in he made enough money to where he could eat that day and for the next week, he immediately did point number 2. So let's go to the next segment. The next thing Glenn did was he doubled down on his strengths. He knew that he was a great salesman, and he knew that he had basically had a sales career before. As a major executive, a lot of what you're doing is selling. As a CEO, a lot of what you're doing is selling. So he said, I'm going to focus on this one strength. I'm going to do what I can to sell something. And so what he did was he got a little bit of money and he bought some trinkets. He bought some St. Patrick's Day gear. He found a bunch of trinkets that he could get for a nice price, and he said, hey, I might be able to sell this at this parade that's coming up for St. Patrick's Day. He sold out these St. Patrick's Day trinkets. That was his first real success. Other than him making enough money for food, the first real success he had was being able to flip this St. Patrick's Day gear that he had bought. Doubling down on his strengths is what allowed him to get there. So if you're taking notes, we've already covered 2 points. 1, which was survival is first. He focused on first being able to eat and sleep in a warm bed. Then he's immediately focused on doubling down on his strengths. He needed enough startup capital to be able to create a business. He didn't believe that he could build $1 million company by himself. So he said, I'm going to need startup capital. He used his strengths to start building up that startup capital. He used his strength of being a salesman to start making some cash flow. And it gets even more interesting. It gets even more wild as you go into it. But before I get into the content, I should tell you that this is going to be a part of a series. I'm going to watch every single episode of the first season of Undercover Billionaire. Like I said it right, you heard me wrong. Let's go. So anyway, I'm going to watch every single episode of Undercover Billionaire, and I'm going to produce a series specifically around Undercover Billionaire, and we are going to learn from Glenn Stearns and exactly what he did to start a $1 million business within 90 days. And the third point we'll go over today is find the buyer first. He said in the episode, most people try and create a product and then they look for a buyer. That's a losing equation because now you're fighting the tide. Now I'm paraphrasing. You would be fighting the tide. You don't need to create a widget and then try to figure out who wants the widget because not everybody's gonna want it. What you want is to sell something that people need. Sell something that people have a purpose for, right? That is a product that can take off. That is a company that can explode. Is a company that has built a product that people actually need and are actually looking for.
Okay, this is good stuff here. This is good stuff. I like.
Just to recap what we've talked about so far. 1, survival is first. 2, focus on your strengths. 3, find the buyer first. The product is secondary. With that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go for today. Come on back. We are going to finish this series and I'm going to review every single bit of the information that I find on the way to him building this $1 million business. So be on the lookout for that video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be in tune to the next video in the series. Come on back for more. Bye. And these first 3 things are 1, survival is first. 2, focus on your strengths. And 3, 1, survival is first. 2, focus on your strengths. And 3, this is like the second time I've forgotten what 3 is. God. Find the buyer first. Say it with me. Find the buyer first. Okay. 1, survival is first. 2, focus on your strengths. And 3, find the buyer first. Okay, I did it. Whoop. All right. Focus. Boing. Boing. I don't even know why I'm laughing. This is ridiculous. I think that's enough. Whoop. Almost full turn. Almost.